Hey guys, doing some man on the street interviews in Lyttleton today. Ask you a couple of questions real quick.
Why not?
Yeah. So New Zealand's back in lockdown this week. Is this a surprise to you or expected?
Not really.
Yeah, you were expecting something like this?
I think so.
Yeah. And how would you feel if we have to go into a hard lockdown?
Quite disappointed.
Mhm.
Yeah, it would be a shame, wouldn't it?
Yeah. What degree of confidence do you have in the government's success in ultimately eliminating the virus, as they say, or eliminating COVID in New Zealand, as they say, is their plan? Because on one view, you can't actually eliminate it. It's like the flu. It'll come around every season. So a more sensible strategy would be to mitigate the effects of it instead of trying to completely eliminate it. Any opinions on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're a global country, really, and we can't just close ourselves off and eliminate it here and hide from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
It needs to be more managed rather than eliminated.
Right. So one last question, although it's got a couple parts to it. This is a little broader in scope, but I'm trying to gauge public opinion on the questions of the day. We've heard a lot in the news this week about conspiracy theories surrounding COVID, and apparently a lot of New Zealanders start to believe these or partly believe them. From a down-to-earth perspective, rather than an abstract ideological perspective, there's clearly some truth to these theories and some falseness. So the question is, how much wheat is there and how much chaff is there? Let me run past you three quote-unquote conspiracy theories, and I'll just ask you to tell me how implausible or plausible you find them. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one. There is a cheap, safe and effective treatment for COVID-19, hydroxychloroquine, but powerful vested interests, namely Big Pharma, are restricting the public's access to this drug and relying on phony scientific studies to do so. Would you rate that statement as totally wacky, could be something to it, or true?
I think it's pretty wacky.
Pretty wacky? All right. Second statement, the WHO is politically aligned with the Chinese Communist Party, and their medical advice is shaped by political influence. Would you rate that as totally wacky, could be something to it, or true?
I think there's some merit to that.
All right, yeah. Third one, our central government in New Zealand is run by self-serving elitists whose political philosophy is authoritarian and not democratic, and they see COVID-19 as a perfect opportunity to move the laws and institutions of New Zealand towards a more authoritarian model so that they can rule basically as kings, queens and aristocrats rather than as mere elected officials. Would you rate that statement as totally wacky, could be something to it, or true?
I think there is some merit to that. Again.
Right, okay. Well, thanks for talking. This is just for my social media. We don't really have community television in New Zealand anymore, so I'm just one of the amateur independent media trying to fill that gap. Normally I do these interviews in Christchurch, but I come over to Lyttleton today. What's your name, bro?
I'm James.
James, I'm Dan. Thanks for talking. If you want to check out what I post, my handle on Twitter is @livesonnet, LIVESONNET.
Fantastic.
Nice talking to you.
Perfect.
Have a good day. See ya.